Hello, welcome to the Aftermath. My name is Ian, and as always, I'm joined by Dylan.
Back to the Thunderdome.
Back to the Thunderdome.
Welcome to it.
Welcome to the jungle, where I think we have a thing called fun and games, I believe.
A few here and there.
Yeah, you can have anything you want. What is the next? Is it? But it's not free. Is that what it is? I don't remember the lyrics. That's okay.
Yeah. Been a while since I heard Guns N'
Shana na
Roses.
na 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 knees.
I want to watch you bleed.
Anyways,
I fucking love the lyrics.
Oh
Of that
yeah,
song.
it's wild.
Can't remember him. Says how much I actually love him.
Yeah.
God damn.
Today,
We didn't watch a damn thing.
we've watched a few things,
Mhm.
but none of them being shows or movies.
Yeah, not the usual suspects.
We've listened to, I would say, a collection of music
Mhm.
and done all sorts of things. But
Whipped up a good meal.
oh my gosh, we'll get
Much
to that.
needed.
We'll get that in a second because I definitely won't talk about that. Stop me if you've heard this before, but it's been a pretty busy week.
Mm-hmm.
It's been good. I had a very good weekend out with some friends. Had a
Load bearing
chance-
good.
Load bearing good. I as of the time of you listening to this, it would be this time last week
Mm-hmm.
or last weekend. Had a chance to get out a little bit, go meet some friends of ours and hang out, get some drinks, go get some good food. It was awesome. But I wish that would have been a longer experience. It was very
Longer and a bit less strenuous.
yeah. It was still good, but I started off this Monday hitting the ground running, and because I'm getting ready for the holidays and I'm getting ready for all that stuff and everything, it's a lot of deadlines are happening, a lot of projects need to get done, and people I need to make good on, and it's all that stuff.
See, at least you stick the landing. I just keep hitting the ground.
Well, I'm trying to be optimistic. I definitely dropped the ball a couple times this week, but like nothing catastrophic. It was all like, I'll do that tomorrow. And
It
then
was a bouncy ball instead of a bowling ball.
Right, exactly. Tomorrow turned into the next day, and then the next day, and
Yeah.
and then
So on and so forth.
right. I'm at the point now where technically I don't. Technically, I don't work on Fridays, but I use Fridays as like a catch up day if I need, and I'm definitely utilizing today as a catch up day, which sucks, but is what it is. That is the
you
purpose.
Gotta take the good with the bad,
right? And so the only unfortunate thing is there's also another event I have to work Saturday morning, which is kind of came out of nowhere, but it's an extra paying gig, so it's not, it's not like it's
extra dosh on the side.
Right. So, not the end of the world, but it definitely is going to be
An omen.
it's going to be all week. I don't think I'll have a full day off this week until maybe Monday.
Jesus.
So, anyway, it's not, but that's also again load bearing maybe.
Right.
So, so all that to say, I am tired.
Mm-hmm.
I am a bit frazzled.
Yeah.
I hope that I'm able to at least.
with a nap.
I hope that I'm able to at least make it seem like I am doing okay.
Yeah.
Because I think I am.
Keep up the facade.
I'm doing all right. But as Dylan had mentioned earlier, though, earlier in the week I had forgotten to go to the store.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Forgot to stock up.
just poor planning on my part.
What a winner.
Stock it up for the winter. Yeah. This past week or two, the temperature finally dropped. Finally, I thought it would
feel
never.
so good.
I thought it would never come, and here we are. It's dropped significantly, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
But I did forget to go to the store, to get just like to restock on food throughout the week and all that, and it's just been too busy for me. And by the time I get home, it's either too late or what have you, whatever excuse you want to put it on it. But
name any of the plethora.
But because I went out, as aforementioned, I went out over the course of the weekend 2 different times with different groups of friends. I'm a little bit strapped for cash. Mm-hmm. No, I mean, I'm not doing bad, but what money I could have spent on groceries, I definitely spent on meals and
frivolity.
Drinks. Right. And I treated one of the 2 events. I treated my friend to a lunch and some coffee, and I was like, hey, I'll do a nice gesture.
Right.
So this week I went out for lunch at the office, once or so, and then I was like, man, I really can't be doing this too many times because I don't. I already did that.
I'm getting into the red.
Yeah. I'm not doing bad, but I need to save some money to at least go to the store to get something to cook or to bring to work at the very least. Mm-hmm. And that is what happened.
Oh yes.
Today I had some time. I budgeted my time a little bit better, and I was like, hey, Dylan, I know you're going to be getting off of work. Whenever you come home, come hungry.
Oh, yes.
Because while I still have the energy.
You still got the drive.
While I still got the drive, I saw on Instagram.
The drive to survive.
Right. I saw on Instagram either yesterday or early this morning. I can't remember at this point. It's all a blur. Mm-hmm. I saw this dude just like in his backyard and like his
whipping up a pork roast.
Bruh, he had like a whole spread on like this wooden, like handmade wooden table that I think he made.
Damn.
And it was like a bunch of big, like, looked like freaking cauldrons, but it was like, it was like big old pots of like food that he was making. It was just this big spread. And I was like, man, I haven't really like
the alchemist's cookout.
Yeah, I haven't really like cooked a big meal or like really cooked something nice for myself in a while.
Yeah.
And I was like, man,
tonight was the night. I
was like, man, and again, because of the fact that I went out for lunch here and there, I've been eating light here at the house. So, when I say we don't have anything, I don't have anything to cook, it's just I don't have a lot of variety to cook. Yeah. So it's like, again, I'm not.
Rest assured, there will always be a stockpile of
ramen. Right. I'm not crying eating saltines at night, but like, right. But I will say I am eating a bowl of ramen, going, how it would be nice to have something, Yeah. Anyway, so that's what's going on. Right. So I'm saying all that I went out and man, I got the whole spread. Mm-hmm. I was like, buddy, the ideas were coming to me as I was in the store. I was like, okay, I know I can get like a nice pork loin. Mm-hmm. It's all seasoned real nice. They come packaged. They're not hard to, make and do nice with. And then I was like, okay, let's get some mashed potatoes and gravy. I mean, come on, you can't go wrong with that.
Tried and true.
A little bit of meat, a little bit of potatoes.
Taters will never treat you wrong.
Come on. Never treat me wrong, ever. Mm-hmm. And then I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? I think I can make some green beans, too.
Yeah.
But then I started thinking about it, and then I passed up the French's onions, and I was like, I can make
It's November.
It is.
Casseroles abound.
Hey, I can whip up a nice little green bean casserole.
Seasonal treat.
Not too hard.
Mm-hmm.
It goes well, I think, with what we got going on here.
Oh yeah.
So I made that. So I got all the fixings for all that and everything. And then when I was one of the main reasons why I went to the store as well is because I also was running out of cat food.
Yeah.
So not only
got to keep our boy in tip top shape.
Not only am I like almost I don't want to be too much of a stereotype, but almost like a parent with their children, be like, I may go hungry, but my child can't go hungry.
Yes.
Is that I was like, when I thought about it, I was
our
like,
guard cat will never want for anything.
I was like, I may be struggling a little bit, but my cat's gonna
I'll
eat.
be damned if my cat goes hungry.
Bruh. My bro is out there, dude.
Right.
Anyways.
In the elements.
I can't
least he deserves is a good meal.
Yeah. So anyways, I was like, I gotta get that's one of the other reasons why I need to go to the store.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I did. I got him some food, and then while I was there, I was like, okay, let's go ahead and shop around. Let's go ahead and make a nice meal.
Oh yeah.
For Dylan and I.
One thing I will never forget
is whenever my dad just gave me like some extra meats from his
Oh,
freezer.
yeah.
And I whipped up those steaks, dude. And
Oh,
how fucking
dude.
good they came out.
I forgot about that.
God.
Yeah,
It was perfect.
that was really good.
Mm-hmm.
But
Because I remember, I don't recall if you were editing something or just like goofing around on the computer. But as soon as I tried it and knew it was good, I had to bring you a piece of that shit.
I do remember that.
Man,
Oh, yeah. You were proud of it.
it was perfect.
Well, for good reason, too.
Yes.
But so I got all those things, and then I thought about it as well, and I was like, you know what, man? Let's go ahead and get a nice little dessert.
Mm-hmm. Good old key
It's
lime.
Good old key lime pie. And then I also thought about it. I was like, you know what? I haven't had in a while was some champagne at all, or even sparkling wine. And I love
champagne.
I love a good sparkling wine. And I forgot that Walmart, the one that we live pretty close to,
The local supermarket.
right, has La Marca. And it's a Prosecco, so it's an Italian sparkling wine. And Dylan really enjoys La Marca.
Good.
And I saw it, and I was like, you know what I haven't had is a nice bottle of La Marca.
Mm-hmm.
And I went over there and
Long
I got
overdue.
Bruh, and it's not. And the thing is, for anybody out there who's wanting something nice, you want to try something new or something different, that light, like sky blue logo, it's like like $15 or $17. I can't remember. Not expensive,
Right. Cheap but effective.
It's so good. It's really nice.
Mm-hmm.
And so I mean, when I tell you what, whenever I walked home, I was like, boy, Dylan came out of his room as I was like unloading all the groceries and stuff, and I was like, boy, I bet you're hungry. I hope you're hungry. And he's like, yeah. So
fucking starving.
Yeah. I showed him the whole spread, and he was like, oh, this is cool.
Mm-hmm. This is it.
Had the chance to listen
A banquet.
Listen to one of the albums we listened to recently, put on a little sound system we got in the kitchen.
More often than not, as Ian is whipping up some food, we'll just have like tunes going in the background.
Oh, yeah.
Just chilling out, which I think adds to the atmosphere, makes it a more enjoyable experience. Because, I mean, I already like cooking, though I barely ever get to, but man.
Oh, yeah. Once you got a little vibe going,
good.
it's like, it's super fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's always fun in the kitchen with us.
Yeah.
There's always a jam going on. So yeah, that's what we did there. We whipped it all up, made it all nice, and we've been watching this.
We kind of lied at the top there. We have watched something.
That's what I was saying. I wouldn't say it's a movie or shows per se, because ever since we finished Record of Lodos Wars, we haven't picked up another show yet. Yeah. And the last thing we watched was obviously the movie from last week.
G Gundam, man.
Hey,
how do you feel?
I'm
either G Gundam or Gurren Lagann, since you still haven't watched the show yet. He's seen the movies, he just hasn't watched the show.
I have not seen a lot of G Gundam, and I'm really intrigued by it. So I do want to watch that.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I do want to watch Gurren Lagann as well, but I think I've seen more of
both
that.
Are just as hype.
Oh yeah. Oh man, that's gonna be fun.
Oh yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. But what we have watched is there's this long, I don't want to call it documentary, but there's this long
little video essay.
Yeah, a little video essay on. I say little. You know,
right.
It's 3 hours,
almost
and 40.
4 hours.
Yeah, almost 4 hours. But it goes like pretty deep in detail into Asura's Wrath.
Oh yes,
which is a game for those who don't.
One of my favorites.
It's a really cool game. But anyway, so we sat down, watched that, and we had the whole spread.
Oh yeah,
we're eating all of our food. I got filled up. I was like, man, and like I said, because of the fact that how the week has gone, and the fact I didn't get the chance to go to the store a whole bunch. I was like, I've been kind of eating.
The fatigue.
I've been eating where I can, and I'm not doing bad.
Right.
But I probably haven't.
Scrounging for scraps ain't as bad as it looks.
I can guarantee I haven't had 3 square meals a day. I usually never eat 3 meals a day. Right. It's usually like a strong 2.
Yeah, from an already. Yeah, based on the norm, below average intake.
Right. So
it has been even less.
I've been keeping myself hydrated, but that's about as consistent as it gets. So I'm saying all that because at the we're at the end of the week now.
Yep.
By the time of this recording, and I was like, man, I gotta I gotta treat.
I can't do it anymore.
I gotta treat myself to something.
Right.
And so this was again. It was a lot of work, and it was already late. And I was like,
Fuck.
we can probably watch something, but realistically, I think we should just watch some more of our video we're watching.
Yeah.
We should have this nice meal,
and then you just have a chat.
Yes, and then of course after that, after our main course was done, we got the dessert out there. Opened up our little Lamarca, had some of that, and I was like, oh man, it's been. Oh man, it was just
it was good.
It not only was it feeding not only was it feeding my body, but it was feeding my soul. And a little bit in that moment, I was like, I just need this second to just catch my breath.
Yep.
Eat some good food and just vibe out. But that's also where my one of my weaknesses came in.
Oh yeah,
because I had all this food, I was all filled up, felt all good. The heater's kicking in a little bit because it's getting cold in the house now.
It started to get cozy.
I finished up
Dangerously
up almost on my pie. Had probably about half a glass of this prosecco, and I was like, oh,
just chilling out watching the video.
Yeah,
that kept cutting off at the best fucking parts with these dumbass ads.
Yeah. And then before you know it, I'm sitting there, my eyes are a little heavy.
He's starting to doze.
Yeah,
we're losing him.
As I slowly drift off, I hear Dylan say, "Hey, you're good." I'm like,
"Wake up!"
And I was like, "Oh shit,
stay with me."
I was like, oh shit, where am I?
Somebody get some help.
Get this man some caffeine. Damn. Yeah. So yeah, that's and then directly from that into where we are right now, trying to keep this momentum going.
We stumbled into the fucking studio.
Yeah, wiping,
barely got everything
rubbing
set
our
up.
eyes.
Bashed his head on the table a couple times.
Dude, I have to show you.
Oh, there he went.
Yeah, I have to show you this video.
Yeah.
I was on Instagram at some point today scrolling, and dude, it made me laugh so hard. I feel bad, but you know how whenever someone hurts themselves, and like if they're able to like laugh it off, or like you can tell it really didn't hurt them,
everything's okay.
It makes it a little bit easier to laugh,
right?
At the whole circumstance.
Yeah.
But if someone actually hurts themselves, you're like, I want. Because of how this happened, you want to kind of laugh, but if they're actually hurt, I feel bad laughing at them.
Right.
That's just who I am. Some people don't feel that way, or they're probably less empathetic or whatever you want to consider it as.
Look, it's a golden rule that if somebody is injured,
check
by way of their own mistake, you always make sure they're okay first, and then you laugh.
Of course. Some people don't do that. Some people are assholes, and don't. You're like,
yeah.
It's like
point the finger.
Yeah. I'm saying all this to say there's this child.
Oh God.
In a kitchen, and there may be two, maybe three.
A toddler.
Fridge door open. They have their hand. Video starts. They have their hand on the milk jug and are pulling it out the door.
Oh my God!
And in the process of doing that, not only is it it's like a half full, or more than half full, like
a gallon.
A gallon of milk, or whatever. Jesus. And so this kid pulls it out and is able to hold it up, but in the process leans forward and stumbles like a drunk person, and absolutely smashes their head on one of the shelves in the door.
Bro. Where was this, on fucking Lively?
No.
That kid is dead.
No. Not dead.
Holy
not dead.
shit.
But pulls, does a little stumble like they're drunk, bashes their head and goes, "Open the milk," and then closes the door, and the dad is like, "Damn!"
You're all right there, champ? Holy shit!
The door closes, and then they do the stumble backwards, like they're drunk, and they're like, "Open the milk, open the milk," and they're like still like a drunk person.
Oh my God!
And then it's kind of funny because you can tell the dad's like,
that is a concussion.
Yeah. It's like, are you?
That baby got brain bleed.
But the thing is, it was stumbling before, hit its head like it didn't matter, and it's like, oh, so this baby's just drunk.
Toddlers
from the get-go.
don't walk; they stumble.
No. Right.
They bumble.
And then of course, the dad's kind of stifling a laughter, and then just a little bit because I can tell their baby's fine. It's I don't think it hit the top. It was just the side of their head. Right. It walks up and he says, "How about you say please?" And he goes, "Peas," and then of course, he's like, at that point, it's right there at the dad was just this gallon of milk, asking if he could open the milk. I was like, bruh, it was so funny. It was like, you just said stumbling around, hitting your head. Right. And I just immediately went back there because I was trying hard not to laugh because that.
The human skull is a resilient thing.
I just think, I don't think it probably hit it that hard, obviously, but it was just the fact that there was like things in the shelf too. Yeah. And it just, boom, it was like, it was like shit and got knocked around. I was like, damn. And then the fact that Dad's like, damn.
Yeah.
So good.
Someone's definitely rattling in there.
Hey.
See, toddlers are so fucking weird in that they enter the stage in that 2 or 3 year period where they're fucking indestructible.
Hands down.
Like, of their own volition, they could give themselves a concussion and they'll just be fine.
It's fine, yeah.
Within like a few minutes.
Right. You know.
Obviously, I'm using hyperbole, but that's just what fucking happens.
No,
I've seen my nieces go absolutely buck wild, take a tumble, hit their heads like they eat shit on the floor.
Yeah.
And they'll just get up.
That's fine.
And I'll be like, whoa, are you okay? And I'll be like, yeah. And I'm like, all right.
Cool.
Okay. Stevie, you want to call an ambulance?
You want to make sure they're not going to internally bleed or whatever?
Just take a look. Just give them the once over, make sure everything's fine.
Right. Because you're like, I think I'm hurting just from watching that.
Yeah, that shit did not look...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's wild.
But God, I love them.
Yeah,
they're perfect.
Hey, is what it is.
Little angels.
You're right. There is a point in time where they really do just kind of bounce back almost.
Mm-hmm. See, that's the thing. Whenever they were like super young, like straight up infants.
Oh, yeah.
I made it a point to like, if they ever hurt themselves, I'd be like, oh, ha, 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 you're fine. Because if I freak out, they're going to freak out 100%. And start crying. And it fucking works every time.
Oh, yeah?
Every time. Unless it like really fucking hurts and they just can't help themselves.
Of course,
which happens.
Actually injure themselves.
Yeah. But more often than not, that's the way to do it.
Oh, yeah.
Just, that didn't hurt. You're fine.
Yeah, you're fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just dust yourself off. You'll be good.
All right. Just a quick trip to the guy in the white overcoat. He's going to take a look at you.
Right.
See how cool you are.
You're not actually bleeding, are you?
Right. You're fine.
Yeah, no, you're good. That was, again, it was
a strength test.
As my dad being a paramedic, that was, that was one thing my dad, anytime I would eat shit on my bike or whatever, or I would hurt myself or whatever, and I'd be like, Dad, and he'd be like, he'd look at it and go like, nah, you're good.
What the fuck are you crying about?
Yeah. The thing is, I wouldn't even, like, I'd be more worried about, like, is this going to be okay?
Right.
Did I break my arm? He's like, nah, you're good.
I feel okay now, but like.
Twist it like this? You good?
Yep.
How about like that? No, you're fine. You're good.
There you go.
Yeah. I got this weird thing in my eye. What is happening? And he's like, "Nah, you're good." I was like, "Okay, cool." And then, but there were some times where my middle brother Eric like broke his collarbone, and he was actually hurting and was like kind of had that like the child like scream crying of like, "Oh, you're in pain."
Yeah.
And then my dad my dad looked at it. And he was like, "Yep, we're going to the hospital." I was like, "Oh shit, we're going to the hospital."
In the car.
Like, yeah. So it was like there was like that switch flip of like everything was probably just going to be okay until my dad was like, "Hey, everybody, we gotta load up, make it happen." And it's like, "Oh shit, my dad's like in go mode right now. We gotta." Things are real now.
The change in tone.
Yeah. I didn't just skid my knee.
I lost my knee.
Yeah, right. So,
grab your cap, son. We're going to get it reattached.
Yeah. Grab your shoes. Yeah. So, anyways, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, what a time it was to be a child.
Yeah.
Especially in our.
I don't remember a damn thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man, there was one time in particular where I had built like a little makeshift like ramp in the backyard.
Oh boy.
For my bike.
Oh
yeah. And
disastrous.
It actually wasn't that bad. The ramp actually like held up really well.
Yeah.
We had like a little mound of dirt in the back that I also kind of like helped like construct it. So like I mean it wasn't. It felt elaborate and huge as like an early teenager, probably a late child.
Yeah.
But in actuality, I don't think it was more than probably a couple feet off the ground.
Yeah.
But like you get some momentum going on a bicycle, and I was able to kind of like
I can fucking fly.
I got some hang time. I mean, like I said, looking back as an adult, it was probably like, I mean, it's nothing crazy.
Right.
But in the moment, I was like, what's the
king of the world.
What's the Daredevil's name?
Evil Knievel.
I'm Evil Knievel out here. That's what it felt like. But there was one time in particular that something went awry, and I fell pretty hard on the concrete, and and I kind of bonked my head, and it made me dizzy. And my dad was like, "Yeah, we got to be careful about because you may have a concussion." And I was like, "Oh shit." So, but
I'm gonna start using child ramp as a metric of sturdiness.
Yeah. It consisted of cinder blocks and I think
a good old 2x4.
No, I think it was 1x4. No, I don't know, 2x6s. They were long. They were wider, and I had a couple of them.
Damn.
Yeah. So I had them all propped up.
Boy, how they did the trick.
Oh, it did, man. It was nice. I had them fixed in, so that way it wasn't like it didn't jostle around or whatever, which was obviously because even for me, I wasn't no rambunctious, really wild child. Yeah. So if I was to if I walked up next to it and things were wobbling, I'd be like, nah, I'm okay. Yeah. But the fact that I was pretty sturdy, I was like, hey, this shit's looking.
Didn't move when I kicked it. Ought to be good.
Looking pretty tight, man. I don't know. I think if I go down, because we also had a long driveway, and it was at the end of the long driveway, so it was perfect. You had this. Man, I don't even know. How long would you say that driveway was at that house?
It was pretty fucking long.
It was pretty long. It was a long straightaway. And I would say, man, I want to say something crazy 25 feet was how long, or maybe 30 feet from from the street to the back of the
next to the back door.
Right. So again, you just gotta.
A long ways.
It was long enough where you could pick up some speed on a bicycle on a concrete thing. So you get on it and you start so it felt sturdy enough where I was like, I don't know, man, if I'm going fast enough,
I could do it. I could do it.
I think I could do it. And then of course that's all it takes. You successfully do it.
The moment you let the spark of arrogance take root.
You hubris.
Right.
Yeah.
Overconfidence.
Dude.
Is a slow and insidious killer.
More so the fact I was saying the second you do it, the second you do it once and if you feel confident and you successfully land it, you're like, oh man, this shit kind of feels pretty good. I don't know.
Right.
And I think that's what got me was the fact that it was my careful Icarus moment where I got a little too close to the sun.
Killed more men than bullets.
I know, yeah. So my hubris got me, but that didn't stop me though. I definitely was.
Right.
I was more cautious, and of course, there was more as anything in life. There were more
bouts of devil may care. If you could believe it.
Just like everything else in life, there was less rules and restrictions until after I really hurt myself. And I was like, okay, here's what we got to do. More safety inspections, guys. We got to make sure this shit is locked in because we're not going to stop the fun, but we're definitely not going to have that happen again.
Child OSHA.
Exactly. I started doing it. I did my own safety violation. Tastes like, I signed up the code, man.
Nah, it's against regs.
No, yep. I hate to say it, but
now if you had 3 cinder blocks,
hey,
that'd be a bit better.
Yeah. Is there any way we can get this built in more? Yeah. Can we dig this hole a little bit more to get this really cemented in?
Keep it grounded.
Yeah. I need guardrails.
I need more dirt.
Right. Yeah. We need signs at the end so that there's no obstructions.
Right.
I don't want people walking through the area of the
nobody in my flight path.
Yeah, flight path. Yeah, I don't need anybody. I don't need foot traffic between the flight path.
Yep.
Man, I go to do my jumps and I hire a friend to be to be a spotter.
Yeah.
Hey,
gives you a thumbs up or a thumbs down after.
Yeah. Hold traffic for lunch. Hold traffic for lunch. Yeah, that's great. Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh man, we're getting off topic now.
I mean, is there a topic?
No,
we're kind of just talking.
Yeah, it is. I think the topic I had in mind was I don't know what it was at this point, but I thought we were talking about.
I mean, we had mentioned the video, but we didn't really.
Oh, that was what? Yeah.
Get your based on what you've seen in the video so far. What's your impression of Asura's Wrath? And would you consider playing it with me?
Because of how you have shown things to me in the past, it's hard for me to put pieces together.
Mm-hmm.
So you haven't done that a whole lot with many shows as of recently,
right?
Because of this lovely podcast, we get the chance to watch a lot of movies and shows.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, but there was a point in time in history where Dylan used to really, and he still does, used to really love like watching the clips,
the action.
I got the hiccup. Sorry. The action stuff, like those peak moments in a show.
Just be like, "Ayo, check
this shit out," and be like, "Oh yeah, hell yeah!" But again, with no,
that's all it takes.
With no, right? And I would be like, "Hell yeah, that looks cool, looks beautiful," or the fight would be awesome. Like I love that, but I have no context for what's happening around it.
Yeah.
Until a lot of times I see the show and I'm like, okay. Sometimes those like fight sequences means more now because there's like emotional investment or character development. Makes all the difference. So saying all that, there has been probably, I would say, I don't say all the big fights, but a handful.
I definitely haven't shown it to you often.
You haven't shown me a lot of it, but you have shown me some of the big moments in this game. Yeah. There's a couple of big moments I've watched so far from this video that I'm like, oh yeah, I've 100% seen this. I don't think I've ever actually watched you play this game.
No, it's on the PlayStation 3.
Got it.
So that's just like in my room, and I haven't been able to hook it up in the living room.
Right.
So we're playing through Metal Gear Solid 4.
Oh my gosh. I'm saying all that to say that I hadn't some context for the characters in the game, because I kind of would ask a couple questions as we're watching this fight, or you may put into context the relationship between characters as we're watching this.
Right.
But nothing like concrete or like big picture type
just
stuff.
kind of vague.
Yeah. And so like now having gone through this video, which is again it's very long and in depth, and oh my gosh, I can't speak.
In depth.
It is very long and in depth, and it goes into like the kind of the highlights of the story, like the pivotal chapter moments and all that kind of stuff. And I think the video itself, in like the initial part, like that beginning part of the video, it talked about like the development of the game and like how it kind of came to fruition from Capcom, which I thought was really cool, and I think has lended itself, for me at least, to kind of a little more of appreciation for how this kind of came about, especially for what kind of feels like a new take on an old, or on a man, how do you say this? A new take on a trope that was being done back then.
Yeah.
The kind of the God of War.
Right.
I think even like Dante's Inferno, the game kind of had that same sort of vibe.
Devil May Cry.
I like
character action games.
Yeah, character action games. Yeah, that kind of thing. And this is that, but like
there's a spin on it.
Right. It's its own universe and characters, and it feels very unique.
One of the only of its genre, I would say.
Right. It lends itself a lot from the Hindu religion. Is that right? Or a Hindu inspiration?
Like Hindu, and it uses a lot of like East Asian imagery,
right.
As far as like character design and setting goes.
A lot of terminology.
Cool. Oh yeah.
But I'm saying all that, like, that not only like that's about the, I can tell my brain's a little foggy right now.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty late.
Yeah. I'm
as usual.
I mean, all right.
Guess
I'm having a hard time articulating myself. I'm tired. Is that everything feels unique and new. Besides the fact that it kind of lends those inspirations, so that feels grounded in our world, but like everything else as far as like artistic design and characters and all that kind of, that whole setting, it feels like something so new and different.
Yeah. Could not be more outlandish.
And in a world right now, in this day and age, where everything feels like a sequel or a recreation of something or like an adaptation of something.
Nothing but rehashes.
It feels kind of cool.
Dude, it's so fun. I've said it before, but it is one of the only things like it that I can think of.
Right. The art style kind of it feels very Capcom in that regard. Even though it's unique and it's its own thing, it still feels like it came from the same people that made Lost Planet. Yeah. It kind of feels like it came from those kind of that same, but
Asura like it could be a character in Street Fighter.
Right. That vibe. Right. Where it feels like it came from an artist, but it's its own thing. And I like that. I think it's cool. So seeing all those things, it's kind of a nice like breath of fresh air to experience that in some way, especially from a game that's as old as this one is. But I really am enjoying certain characters. Yeah. More than I thought that I would. With seeing just the clips that you saw me of like the big fight sequences, I never quite understood why I never felt like an emotional connection, or I never quite understood the main character. He always seemed so like so aggravated. So just rage. Oh yeah. Now having known that he's the god of wrath, it makes sense. But now that I know like what caused some of that,
it hits so much harder.
It makes so much sense. And the reason why I brought that up was because obviously having no context for what brought Asura to where he was, it just made it seem like he was angsty and mad and pissed off. And I was like, I don't like why. Why should I root for this guy? Yeah. But now, having kind of gone back and experiencing, I think the story the way the game intended. Imagine that. Sure. I think they're doing a wonderful job.
It's so good.
Portraying the pain and the turmoil and the strife of it all, and it, in a lot of the same ways that God of War did. Yeah, and it's almost say very similar ways. You know, Kratos. Having a character that goes through loss in some way, and then having them try and reconcile with that
grapple with it
is hard. But then of course you add on top of that the fact that like everyone that's up against him is a god as well, like just like God of War,
right? But former comrades,
right? And he's the god of wrath, and he gets his power from like the wrath that he has, and that's
just innate to his being.
Oh, it's so layered, and I think it's really cool. It's awesome. So.
Oh yeah, easily one in my top. I can't do any kind of order to it. It's just one of my favorites.
And then as if all that isn't enough, like there's so many just like over the top anime moments.
Oh, of course.
That just are like a little cherry on top. There's so many things for just like, I mean, and of course he's gonna be larger than the planet and try to crush him, and you know.
He's gonna punch him so hard he fucking explodes.
He melts from the inside out. Yeah. It's wild. But it's also like, I don't know, it's just fun.
It's cool.
We're dealing with, I mean, it gives me the same vibe that like Dragon Ball does.
Oh yeah.
We're dealing with like gods that parade around as if they're like normal people.
Destroy an entire planet with a flick of their finger.
Exactly. And they're just out here walking around. They look like us in so many ways.
Engaging in martial arts.
Yeah, right.
And as if they even need to.
And then with just the right amount of just push, they transcend in this otherworldly being.
Yeah.
How did you originally hear about that game?
Oh, dude. I came across this way back when. I can't remember what year it was at the time, but as soon as I saw like some of the fights, I had to get my hands on this.
Oh yeah.
And it wasn't what I was expecting.
Right.
Whenever I actually like got into it, but I still enjoyed the whole fucking ride.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, easily one of my favorite like pseudo games out there.
Yeah, it definitely is like a QTE.
QTE movie game.
Right. But there are games that I have seen and played and been a part of that like you're really there for the story.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes there's good gameplay along the way.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes there's not. But
Yeah.
Man, there's a star-studded cast of voice actors in that.
Oh yeah, bunch of big
Asura's
names.
Wrath.
We got Liam O'Brien,
Yep.
Robin Atkin Downs,
Steve Bloom.
Yep, Tara Strong.
Yeah, dude.
Absolutely bonkers.
It's cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Yeah.
But besides that, I tried a couple times to play some games.
Tried. It's a very appropriate way to describe it, I'd say.
I would say I think there was 2 times successfully that Dylan and I hopped back on Helldivers 2.
Oh yeah.
And man, that was fun.
We had game.
Dude, we had a couple of good runs.
Oh yeah.
There was one time in particular
Well, it was the second time we had tried to play where everything worked out. And
yes.
Neither of us crashed.
Yeah.
And dude, that whole mission was flawless.
There was a point in time at the end we were running out of time, and there was like a big there was like a landscaping thing in between us where like it was a big like cliff face. We had to go around to get back to extraction.
Right.
And I was like, oh man, I don't know if we're gonna make this.
Yeah.
And then there was I think an outpost or it wasn't an outpost.
Some kind of patrol.
Yeah.
That had been alerted to us. So of course they start flooding our position.
Oh.
And we've lost access to our stratagems because the fucking timer ran out.
Exactly.
So the dropship's already on its way.
Yeah.
But we have to hold out for 2 minutes.
Yep.
Before it can get there. And dude, I'd just like to say whenever we dropped in, there were like 2 jammers right next to each other.
Dude. Oh.
Taking those things out was so fun.
Oh yeah.
I remember at one point I was like right next to the console.
Mm-hmm.
There was a Devastator, big fucker with a shield and a Gatling gun.
Yep.
Who's just moseying his way on up.
Yep.
Like, okay, I'm about to kill this motherfucker.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I'm prone.
Please,
waiting.
please.
And
Yeah.
as soon as I see the fucker, I let loose with my explosive crossbow.
Hell yeah.
Which, by the way, has become one of my favorite weapons in the game.
I can tell.
And I nail this fucker right in the head.
Hell
and he just
yeah.
falls over. It's
That
perfect.
feels so good.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Oh, yeah. But it's been, because it's treated as a one-handed weapon, it combos amazingly with the riot shield.
The ballistic shield, yeah.
I love that thing.
I use the pummeler, which is the SMG that has a slower fire rate, but it's makes the enemy stagger, and that's been a lot of fun as well to use.
Got some heavy hitters.
I recently unlocked the napalm grenades? Thermite.
Oh,
I got the thermite
dude,
grenades.
Those things kick ass.
I didn't know how much they kicked ass, but now I do.
Whenever I absolutely obliterate outposts. I can fire off one good shot with the crossbow, like into a fabricator, and it will explode. Or I can just stick a thermite to it and then just walk away.
100%.
Within a couple seconds, it'll be destroyed.
The last time we had played, I one of my armor sets that I usually kind of keep in rotation is better accuracy while crouched or prone, and then the other one, that's like the main one, and then I rotate between the 2 other like passives. One of them being explosive resistant, and the other one being +2 carry weight on the grenades.
Oh yeah.
So whenever I unlocked those and I was like playing around, I had 6 of them. Whenever I was like, oh, I could just chuck these guys wherever the hell I want.
Fire and forget.
Bro, it was so good. I was like, man, I don't need to do this more often.
Throw and go.
Yeah, exactly. Because before I had the old loadout that we used to always do. Just like
Right.
I would throw 500 kilograms out,
Man.
which isn't bad, but like I'm starting to think now I can actually like change up my loadout a little bit and use something else if I want. I can pick whatever I want.
Right. The possibilities are endless.
I really enjoy that game.
Oh yeah,
It's a lot of fun.
A good time getting back to it.
But again, I probably played 2, maybe 3 rounds.
Yeah, and then that'll be it because the missions last. It feels like they last so much longer than they used to. And of course, we do like the higher difficulty, so that probably has something to do with it. But man,
Right.
it's I don't know.
It's not.
Maybe I'm just getting old.
Maybe it's not that for me. It's not the fact that it goes on too long. It's just it's my computer is the thing that worries me.
Oh yeah.
For me, I'm scared that like my computer's gonna crash because it's like faulty, all that kind of stuff, which has happened in the past. And that's the one thing I worry about is like being super invested in something. Because again, if you're doing like a full like a map, like a normal like map run, I think you get like 45 minutes on the clock.
Yeah.
Or 40 at least.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you go from full time to no time, that's a minimum 40 minutes.
Right. Not to mention some of the blitz missions where you only get 20.
Oh yeah.
To do like a specific objective.
Right. And so for me, this is where I know I'm getting too old. But but the thing is, I also don't want to blame that on my age because I feel like I was like that. I was like this whenever I was younger too.
Yeah.
I think it's just my play style. Is that I don't like investing all this time in a game if I'm not going to get anything out of it.
Yeah.
Yes,
I get you.
Yes, in that game you get experience. Yes, you get et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But like
Unless
now,
you like are dog water.
Oh yeah.
You're not gonna get nothing.
Right.
Like if you complete one objective, you'll still get the experience related to that.
Right. But for me, like the big thing I want is I need medals and I need samples.
Right.
And if I'm like leaving,
get them upgrades,
bro. If we succeed the mission, but we lose the samples along the way, I do feel like feels like a loss. I still feel like we half failed it.
Mm-hmm.
And then if we fail the objective or we didn't extract and we just like get the XP for it, or you get like a little something, or even if you get like some of the medals for like completing it but we didn't extract, and it's like there's like so many different qualities of like we spent 40 minutes and I have
for a half-assed result,
and exactly, and I have a little bit to show for it. I'm like, man, I don't know if I can do that.
Yeah,
that was why I got so sad whenever we like I think the first mission we played again, we played through the whole mission.
Yeah.
And and then your computer crashed, and I was by myself, and I lost everything. And I had the opportunity to clutch it, and I passed it up because you know what? I flew a little too close to the sun.
Oh, damn!
You were still trying to get your computer sorted out, and it dropped me back in far enough away that I could have done something. And I was like, I didn't have any samples, but the samples were right next to the ship. But they had a Hulk there.
I mean, you have to risk
it. And I risked it, and it killed me. And then they dropped me back down again, and I was like, I can make it.
Yeah.
And I couldn't make it.
Damn.
Because that last drop was the last reinforcement we had.
Yeah.
So I dropped in. More. There was no more, and I was
staring death in the face.
And
like,
I tried.
Come on. Here. Give me one.
Give me what you got.
Did he.
I tried to run around.
Motherfucker had a haymaker in the form of a mech.
Gosh, I tried to run around, like I tried to kite him around, and it, killing me. And I was like, and that was the saddest part was like watching myself die. I tried to get onto the ship to get out, and then realizing like we didn't get anything. Yeah, I was like,
very disheartening.
And that was the problem. I think it was also late. I had to be up early the next day, so I was like, it's late.
We're just like, man, let's hop on, get a couple missions in our belt.
Yeah,
we played. Promptly kicks our ass, and it's like, man, I'm just. Yeah. I want to go to sleep.
Yeah.
I don't have it in me. It was ripped from me.
The thing is, I didn't have another one in me.
Right.
I had that one in me, but
Yeah.
the fact that we got no samples, we did not extract. And it was like that is what it is. I was like,
Yeah. No samples.
No
medals.
no medals,
No experience.
no bitches. Yeah, all sadness.
Pants shitted.
Pants shitted. Yeah,
Ugh.
and I sat there
Is
and was
there any
like,
way you can add like a fucking Vine boon
I
to that, please? That'd be so fucking perfect.
That's great.
Ugh,
Yeah. Anyways,
man.
it was a sad day indeed.
Mm-hmm.
But the second go round, like I said before, we made up
Brought
for
it home.
Brought it home, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Made a little run around and was like, oh, this is perfect.
That's where that game shines, is when you're able to just do that shit
Oh yeah,
perfectly.
not without like challenge,
I
obviously.
mean, yeah, you'll still die here and there,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you'll get the samples, you'll
Yeah.
complete the side objectives, you'll get out, and you'll complete the mission. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Nothing's more satisfying for that game.
For that one, for that mission in particular, the reason why I think we feel so good about it is we got every single one of the side objectives.
Mhm.
We got all the stuff,
All the outposts.
all the outposts, all of it.
Got the super samples.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And then, and like I said, and we ran out of time.
Yeah.
And we ran up to the podium or the platform that the ship lands on. And we were able to extract, and I was like, and so it was like the perfect amount of time. Got everything and got out with all of our stuff.
Oh
And I
yeah.
was like, oh
Perfect.
yes,
Feels good.
everything's coming up on our team.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
I'll still never forget the one time it was me, you, Ethan, and Chase,
Mm-hmm.
and we were on, I can't remember which planet, but it may have been Heath, like the really snowy one, and everybody was dead
yeah.
except me.
Oh, dude.
And I had to kite every fucking enemy that was left.
I think that was Marfark.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was kiting enemies all over the fucking place. I was wearing the heaviest grade armor.
yes, you were.
I was running myself ragged trying to keep away.
I'm sad that I didn't record that because there was one moment where I think everyone doubted you except for me. I think.
Yeah.
I don't
Dude.
know. I don't know if anybody else was saying anything, but there was a moment where Dylan
I
had
just kept fucking running.
Dylan had no stems, barely any health, and he was being chased by the saw blade guys.
Yeah.
So
there
if
was
he-
only one fucker behind me. It was like a commissar with those fucking knife hands.
Yeah.
And he like stabbed me a couple times.
Yeah.
But buddy, I kept going.
Bro, and he kept just enough distance where I mean he was like if you would have stopped for a second, he would have got one good
yeah.
hit on you and you'd have been dead.
On my way there, I could not believe my luck. I found some fucking stems.
You did.
And I was able to use those to carry myself to extraction and get the hell out of there. It was a work of art.
We had no more reinforcements. We're all dead, and Dylan is the last one. And he's our last ditch effort because if he was to die, then the extract would have gone away. We wouldn't have made it. And so he's running away from extraction. We're like, oh shit, because he has to keep moving.
Right.
He
I
finds
had no choice.
Bro, he stumbles across those stems, grabs them in like a last ditch effort, and I'm like, and I remember sitting here in this office, and I was like screaming at Dell, like, "You got this, dude! You got this! I know you do. You've got this." And of course, you were like, "Oh man, I think you even at one point in time, like you got the stems, or I think you tried to like shoot him before." I forgot. There was a couple of like clutch moments where I was like, he may not make it, but I sat there and I was like, "You're gonna do it. I know you're gonna do this, dude." And lo and behold, you were able to there was a whole crowd of guys at the base. And you were you were just like you did like a whole
Just made a
dive
fucking
into the
beeline.
ship and you made it. And I was like, man,
It was so hype. It was perfect.
I love moments like that. That game is curated for wonderful moments like that.
Oh yeah.
The first time, whenever I hop back on with you in that first mission that we failed at, I didn't have a good loadout, and it's been a couple months since I played.
Right.
I felt like I was a little rusty, but boy howdy, the atmosphere of that game.
Oh yeah.
It put me right back into it, and I was like, almost as if it was like muscle memory.
Right.
I was just right back in the trenches. I was like, oh shit, and I was like reloading and
Sweet
dodging.
liberty.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, oh man, I just felt right back into it again. But I was like the tension like fell fell on me, and I was "Oh, we're in war, man." And I had like a little. I
having fucking flashbacks.
I went back to the trenches. I was like, "Oh shit, I gotta run."
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh man, it was a different vibe," but it was interesting, to say the least. But
yeah.
And then of course another game I've been itching to play a little bit is Deep Rock Galactic.
Dude.
We haven't first of all we haven't talked about that.
We have not rocked nor stoned in way too long.
I looked at my Steam and I saw that it was November last year when I played last. And I was like, bruh, come on, how unfortunate. I need to play some more. But obviously I've been busy with a whole bunch of stuff. But I was thinking about that. It's been a while since we played that. It's another game that has some pretty fun moments in it. So
there was another moment me and Dakota had recently whenever we were playing Space Marine 2.
Yeah.
And we were going through like the first level on one of the harder difficulties, just trying to get through it for the extra experience and trying to get through with the gene seed. And after we take an elevator, go through the industrial district, like an old factory that the Tyranids have taken over, we make it to just before the elevator to like the top level of it.
Yeah.
And that little area, it's got a little alcove on a first level floor where there may be goodies. May or may not. We're a bit stripped for ammo.
Okay.
Still looking for like a Guardian Relic or a Gene Seed. And Dakota, like, we're side by side at this point, but we walk up and he's like, wait a second, do you see this? What the fuck's going on over there? And there's just like a bunch of like little fucking gaunts, like little nothing Xenos scum. And then out of fucking nowhere, a lictor shows up, which are the cloaking fuckers, right?
Oh god!
So it scares the fuck out of us.
Hell
He
yeah.
just jumps in out of nowhere. It was so fucking fun. Of course, we immediately like unload on him and just rip him apart. But god damn, if it didn't get us good.
That's funny.
It was so funny.
The guy's like, "Hey guys, what's up?"
Right, it's just like, whoa!
Oh shit! That's good.
Yeah.
Well, here's hoping that next week is going to be Thanksgiving.
Oh god.
This episode is coming out on the 22nd, but the next episode will be on Black Friday.
Oh fuck.
Yep. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
Oh Jesus.
I didn't mean to give you flashbacks.
No, it's okay. I'm having flash forwards.
Flash forwards.
Oh god.
He's having a prophecy right now.
A premonition.
Yeah, exactly.
Followed closely by conniptions.
Oh no, his foreshadowing. Yeah.
I feel a stroke coming on.
Yeah. But we got Thanksgiving.
I'll get through it.
We got Thanksgiving coming up this week. We got to watch something fun for Thanksgiving. It's actually been a while since we've watched
Scent of a Woman.
You're right. Did we watch it last year?
I don't think we did.
I don't think we did either, but I thought we did.
It's followed the same vein as the Christmas Gundam.
100%.
We keep saying we're going to make a tradition out of it and watch it every year, but we never do.
To be honest, even if it's a tradition that comes whenever we think about it, still,
right. A faux tradition.
Oh, right. Again, like it doesn't have to be every year, but but I know that whenever Thanksgiving time comes around, I'm like,
Schrodinger's Gundam.
Gosh, dude.
Oh man.
War in the Pocket,
it's so good.
So good. I do want to rewatch some of the older Gundams that we watched. Like I think we recently were looking at all of the theme songs from all the different.
Oh yeah, all the
intros.
Forgot how many fucking bangers there were.
I just love all the music in Stardust Memory. It's all such a vibe.
It's perfect.
Beautiful.
Back to Paradise remains one of my absolutes.
It's so of its time. I think it came out sometime around the 80s, and you just listen to the whole album worth of music for that, and you're oh, this is just
it's
so
exactly what I've been looking for.
100%. But anyways, I also kind of want to rewatch 8th MS Team too.
Yes, dude.
It's been a long time for that one.
I'm always down for 8th MS.
Gosh. Well, all right. I think that about does it. I think we've rambled for long enough.
So substantial yap was had.
Yeah. Yaps were shared all around.
Yap.
Yeah. I also we just jumped right into this episode. I didn't even do what I normally have been doing for the. I feel like I'm stumbling on my words.
It's because you are.
I didn't do what I normally do for the beginning of this podcast.
There was no plug.
There's no plug at the top.
Nobody knows who we are or where to find us.
There's the reason why I've been doing that. Oh, gosh, I gotta speak clearly, dude. I feel embarrassed.
Just cut.
I'm not cutting any of it. I'm too tired. I have to edit this tonight.
Yeah. Oh, fuck, you're right.
Let me lose my train of thought. The reason why I have been talking about us at the top of the episode is because there's been a lot of new people joining our little podcast, and it's been fun to see all the different people from all the different platforms engaging wherever they feel like and all that kind of stuff. So regardless of what platform you're on, thank you for listening to us. If you want to try and find other platforms, a lot of times you can just type in the Aftermath and find us there. On YouTube, we have at Hindsight Studios, which has some of our videos and all the podcasts that we do here.
Right. The essentials.
Whatever platform you listen on, be sure to subscribe or follow us. Give us a like where you can. A lot of times you can leave comments. I always have fun reading the comments and interacting with anybody who wants to chip in. It's been a lot of fun. And I think it's nap time.
Yeah, I'm dozing.
I'm about to conk hard.
Right, big conk.
Big conk. I'm gonna need somebody to bonk me right on the head. Maybe fall asleep.
Yeah.
Boom. But anyways, until next week, thank you so much for listening.
See you.
Bye-bye.